Hi guys, I'm Sean, and a warm welcome back to the channel. So today, we're diving into the new moon in Cancer, happening on July 14th, and I have to say, this one feels very different. I've gone into quite a bit of detail, so get a glass of red wine and enjoy some antioxidants. This isn't a loud, dramatic new moon. It's quiet, it's emotional, it's personal. I feel like this is one of those moments where something is shifting beneath the surface, even if you can't fully see it yet. And with Mercury Retrograde tied into our story, there's a strong theme of looking back before we move forward. Almost like we're being asked to pause, reflect, and get really honest with ourselves. So in this video, we're going to break down the major themes, what this new moon is really asking of you, and then I'll go sign by sign so you can see exactly where this is landing in your chart. And as always, take what resonates, leave the rest. But I do think there's something here for everyone. Let's get into it. So let's start with one of the core themes of this new moon in Cancer. This is a real emotional reset. The moon is in its home sign here, so it's operating at full strength. And what that means is whatever you're feeling around this time, it's valid, even if it doesn't make total sense yet. But this isn't a loud new moon. It's not about big moves or announcements. It actually feels very quiet, very internal. I kind of feel like this is one of those beginnings that happens inside first, before anything shifts on the outside. So if you've been more emotional, more reflective, maybe even pulling back a bit, you're probably right where you need to be. Because this energy isn't asking for logic, it's asking for honesty. What feels right, what feels safe, what actually feels like home to you. And the biggest message I keep coming back to is, not everything needs to be announced yet. You don't have to share your plans or explain where you're going. This is more like planting seeds in the dark, trusting something is growing, even if you can't see it yet. So instead of rushing into action, I think this new moon is really about slowing down, going inward, and just being honest about what you feel. Because this is the beginning, before the beginning. Alright, so another major theme with this new moon in Cancer is around home, family, and belonging. And I think this one can get quite personal, because Cancer isn't just about your physical home, it's about your emotional home too. It's your roots, your past, your memories, the people and places that shaped you. So naturally, a big question that comes up here is, where and with whom do I actually feel at home right now? And I think for a lot of people, that answer might be shifting. What used to feel comfortable or familiar might not feel the same anymore. And that doesn't mean anything is wrong. It just means you're evolving. I feel like this new moon is gently asking us to redefine what home really means. Not based on the past, not based on obligation, but based on how something actually feels in the present moment. And for some, that might look like outgrowing old environments, or noticing patterns in family dynamics that you're ready to move beyond. It can also be a time of healing, especially when it comes to emotional habits or attachment styles that maybe we've carried for a long time. But again, it's soft. It's not about forcing change overnight. It's more about becoming aware and allowing your definition of home and belonging to evolve in a way that actually supports who you are now. Now, another really important piece of this new moon is Mercury Retrograde in Cancer, sitting right next to it. So this isn't really about brand new stories. It's about revisiting something that's already been there. I feel like this is more about going back, reprocessing emotions, and maybe even renaming something you've been feeling for a while but couldn't quite put into words before. There's this blending happening between the mind and the emotions. So it's not just about thinking things through, it's about feeling your way to clarity. And because of that, things might not feel fully clear straight away. So if you're feeling a bit uncertain, or like you don't want to make a final decision yet, that actually makes sense. This energy feels a lot like editing your emotional narrative, looking at the past, reflecting, and slowly reframing it. So the key thing here is, this is a draft phase, not a final decision phase. Now, when we bring in the Mercury Retrograde and the Cazimi, this is where things get really interesting, because this is about rewriting the story. So Mercury Retrograde is already asking us to go back and reflect. But the Cazimi, which happens just before the new moon, brings this moment of clarity. It's like something clicks. I feel like it's one of those realizations where you suddenly see something from your past differently, or you understand an emotion in a way you didn't before. And because it's in Cancer, this is very emotional, very personal. It can be about home, family, or just something that's been sitting with you for a while. But what's important is that this clarity comes before the new moon. So first you see it, then you begin again from a different place. And I think that's why this feels less like starting something new and more like changing the meaning of something old. You're not writing a brand new story, you're editing it. So again, there's no rush to act on it immediately. This is more about the realization, the shift in perspective, and letting that reshape what comes next. Okay, so let's get into each sign. Sun, moon, and rising sign will all give you a full picture. Your moon sign will be very useful here. Alright Aries, for you this new moon is happening in your 4th house, so this brings everything back to home, family, and your emotional foundations. I actually feel like there's a strong pull here to slow down and retreat a bit, to focus on what's going on internally rather than pushing forward externally. But at the same time, there's tension, because this new moon is squaring Saturn in your sign, so there's this feeling of being challenged to grow, to step into who you are, while also dealing with emotional or family-related pressures. And on top of that, you've got this bigger push happening between your personal joy, like creativity, romance, or even your kids, and your wider goals or social life. So it can feel like you're being pulled in two directions. But I think the opportunity here is realizing that change doesn't have to be a bad thing. This could be shifting something in your home, your living situation, or even just how you relate to your sense of security. Alright Taurus, for you this new moon is happening in your 3rd house, so this is really activating your mind, your communication, and your immediate environment. And actually, this is a pretty supportive placement for you. Cancer energy flows well with Taurus, so I do feel like there's something positive here. But it's still reflective because of the Mercury Retrograde. So this becomes less about saying something brand new and more about reworking how you think, how you communicate, and maybe even something you've been wanting to say for a while. I feel like this could be tied to your relationships, your creativity, or even your finances, like you're rethinking how you approach these areas and slowly finding better words or a better strategy. But at the same time, I don't think this is rushed. If anything, it feels like, sit with it a little bit longer, journal it, think it through, let it evolve, because the clarity is still building. There's also this quiet tension between your home life and your career or long-term direction. So you might be feeling pulled between staying comfortable and expanding into something bigger. Alright Gemini, for you this new moon is happening in your 2nd house. So this is all about your money, your values, and your sense of self-worth. This is kind of like a yearly reset in that area. But because Mercury, your ruling planet, is retrograde, it's not just about starting fresh, it's about rethinking things. I feel like you're being asked to look at your relationship with money and security a little differently, maybe even becoming less emotionally attached to it, or more flexible with how things are changing. There could also be decisions coming up around finances, your living situation, or what you truly value, especially as things shift at home or within family dynamics. And at the same time, there's a bit of tension between your independence and your relationships, like your needs versus what others expect from you. So overall, this new moon feels like a recalibration. It's about getting honest about what you value, where your stability comes from, and slowly adjusting things so they actually support the version of you that's emerging. Alright Cancer, this is your new moon. So for you, this is very much a new you moment. It's happening in your 1st house, so this is personal. It's about your identity, your direction, how you're showing up. And honestly, it feels like a reset in how you see yourself. I feel like over the last year, you've been going through a lot of growth, whether that's been with your health, your work, or just trying to get your life more aligned and stable. And now, with Mercury retrograde here, it's like everything you've been thinking, everything you haven't said, everything you've been holding in, you're finally processing it. But it's still internal. So I don't think this is about rushing forward just yet. It's about taking time to really feel your way into who you're becoming. There is also this deeper tension around money, values, or shared resources, like what you have versus what's changing underneath the surface. So for you, this new moon feels powerful. but also very sensitive. It's about investing in yourself, but doing it gently, and being really intentional about what you're setting in motion, because it's going to carry forward for a while. All right, Leo, for you this new moon is happening in your 12th house, so this is a much quieter, more internal kind of reset. This is about rest, reflection, your inner world, and also the things that tend to sit a bit below the surface. I feel like with Mercury retrograde here, you might already be spending a lot of time in your head, thinking, processing, revisiting things that maybe you haven't fully dealt with yet. And this new moon kind of brings that into focus. It's highlighting your private space, your healing, your patterns, even the ways you might sometimes get in your own way. But I don't see this as a bad thing at all. It actually feels like a necessary pause, because next month, things start to pick up for you in a much bigger way. So this feels like your last moment to kind of go inward, reset, and clear things out emotionally. You might also be rethinking your goals, your friendships, or what you're really building toward. But it's happening behind the scenes for now. All right, Virgo, for you this new moon is happening in your 11th house. So this is all about your future, your goals, your friendships, and the circles you're moving in. And with Mercury, your ruling planet, retrograde here, plus that Cazimi just before the new moon, I feel like there's a lot of reflection going on around who you're connected to and where you're actually headed. You might be reconnecting with old friends, or realizing that certain connections just don't feel aligned anymore. And I think that could feel a bit confronting, especially if something starts to feel distant or no longer supportive. At the same time, there's also a shift happening in how you see yourself, your identity, your direction, and even some tension between what's happening in your career and what actually brings you joy or fulfillment. So you might find yourself asking, who do I really want around me? And where am I going from here? There's also a quieter pull to step back a bit, to reflect privately before you make any big moves. So for you, this new moon is about refining your vision, letting go of what no longer fits, and slowly aligning yourself with people and goals that actually support the version of you that's emerging. All right, Libra, for you, this new moon is happening in your 10th house. So this is really highlighting your career, your direction, and how you're showing up publicly. And I feel like there's a bit of pressure here, because this new moon is squaring your sign, so it's pushing you to make adjustments, especially around your professional life. With Mercury retrograde involved, this isn't about rushing forward. It's more about rethinking your path. You might be questioning your direction and am I on the right track? Or even wondering if it's time to shift something, whether that's your work, your goals, or the way you define success. And I do think this is becoming more personal. It's not just about career for the sake of it. It's about whether what you're doing actually feels aligned with who you are right now. There could also be a bit of tension between your work and your relationships, or just how you balance everything. So for you, this new moon feels like a reset in your direction, but one that requires reflection first. It's about reconnecting with what you really want, and allowing your path to evolve in a way that feels more authentic to you. All right, Scorpio, for you this new moon is happening in your 9th house, so this is about your beliefs, your direction, and the bigger picture of your life. And because this is a fellow water sign, I do feel like this one flows a bit more naturally for you. But with Mercury retrograde involved, this isn't about rushing into something new. It's more about a quiet shift in how you see things. I feel like your perspective is changing, maybe around where you want to go, where you want to live, or even what you believe in long term. This could also connect to travel, study, or something legal. But again, it feels like it's still being figured out. There's also something deeper happening beneath the surface, especially around shared resources or commitments. So you might be weighing what a change would cost, emotionally or financially. So for you, this new moon feels like an internal expansion. Your world is getting bigger. But first, your mindset has to shift to match it. All right, Sagittarius, for you, this new moon is happening in your 8th house. So this goes deep. This is about transformation, emotions, intimacy, shared resources, all the stuff that usually sits below the surface. And I feel like this isn't new territory for you. You've already been going through a lot of internal shifts here, and this new moon feels like a kind of turning point. But with Mercury retrograde, it's still very reflective. So instead of pushing forward, I think this is about really paying attention to what you're feeling, especially the things you didn't see coming but can definitely feel. There's also a bit of tension between what you want to do, like expand, travel, grow, and something quieter happening in your mind or your environment that's pulling you inward. Alright Capricorn, for you this new moon is happening in your 7th house. So this is all about relationships and partnerships. And because it's in your opposite sign, I do feel like this one hits a bit deeper, especially over time. It's not just a one-day thing. It's part of a bigger shift that's going to unfold over the next few months. I feel like there's already been an ongoing theme for you around home, family, and relationships. Maybe even a bit of uncertainty about where you belong or what direction things are taking. And this new moon brings that into focus. Normally, this would be a time to set intentions around relationships, whether that's improving a connection, getting closer to someone, or even calling in something new. But with Mercury retrograde, it's not that simple. There are other factors coming in: work, health, responsibilities, that might be making it harder to fully focus on relationships right now. So instead of rushing into decisions, I think this is more about reflecting on what you actually need from others, and what emotional connection really looks like for you. Because this feels like the beginning of a longer story, and for you it's about creating partnerships that actually feel stable, supportive, and aligned with where your life is going. Alright Aquarius, for you this new moon is happening in your 6th house. So this is all about your work, your routines, and your health. And I feel like this one might catch you a bit off guard, because Cancer energy doesn't always show up in obvious ways for you. It's something you feel before you fully understand it. With Mercury retrograde, a lot of you are already going through changes, with your habits, your work environment, or even your health. Normally, this would be a great time to set new routines or get back on track. But because it's in Cancer, I think it's deeper than that. It's really about your emotional habits, how you respond to stress, how you take care of yourself, and the patterns that either support you or drain you. There could also be some tension around work or communication with others, so things might feel a bit off or frustrating at times. So for you, this new moon is about resetting your daily life, but in a way that actually takes your emotional well-being into account. Alright Pisces, for you this new moon is happening in your 5th house, so this is a really beautiful, creative energy for you. This is about joy, self-expression, romance, and the things that genuinely make you feel alive. And because it's a fellow water sign, I do feel like this flows quite naturally. Emotionally, intuitively, you're in tune with it. But with Mercury retrograde, there's still some reflection happening. So you might be rethinking how you express yourself, or how your creativity, your relationships, and even your home life all connect. It's like you're asking, what actually brings me joy, and how do I build more of that into my life? So for you, this new moon feels quite soft and inspiring. It's about reconnecting with your heart and letting yourself create, love, and express in a way that feels true to you.